The year is 43 AD. The Roman legions are marching into the cold, wet unknown of Britannia. They are thousands of miles from home. They have no penicillin. They have no sterile gauze. They have no hospitals waiting for them. But these soldiers are carrying a secret weapon deep inside their leather pouches. It is the only thing standing between their feet and gangrene after thousands of miles of marching through mud and blood. For the Roman Empire, this was not just a plant. It was standard-issue military equipment. Fast forward 1,000 years. The Anglo-Saxons worshipped it. They called it the soldier's herb. Even William Shakespeare immortalized it in Romeo and Juliet as the ultimate healer. But today, look at what we have done. We call it garbage. We call it a weed. We suit up in protective gear and spray toxic chemicals to eradicate the single greatest medical heritage that Europe ever possessed. We have paved over it, poisoned it, and erased it from our collective memory. Why? Why has a plant once revered as a godsend been wiped from the modern mind? Is it because we have become too arrogant? Or have we simply forgotten how to read the language of the earth? The answer to that question, and the secret to survival, is hidden right here. It is written in a code, locked inside the 5 parallel veins of this leaf. It is a forgotten map that separates life from the death growing right next to it. And right now, I am going to decode it for you. By the end of this video, you are going to understand exactly why ancient warriors entrusted their lives to this humble weed. You will discover its sacred place in the 9 herbs charm, a medical secret that has survived in the shadows for over 1,000 years. We are going to dismantle the skepticism and look at the hard science. You will understand the biological mechanism behind its nickname, the green magnet. You will see why the German Commission E, one of the most rigorous herbal regulatory bodies in the world, has officially approved it for supporting lung health, acknowledging its power to soothe respiratory irritation better than many synthetic syrups on the market today. Most importantly, you will master the ultimate survival skill. I will teach you how to distinguish this lifesaver from its deadly twin that grows just inches away, using nothing but your sense of touch. You will learn 3 ancient preparation methods that turn this leaf into emergency medicine in under 30 seconds. And finally, for the gardeners who want high yield with 0 effort, I will share the lazy gardening secret. I will show you how to turn your backyard into a perennial, self-sustaining pharmacy that requires no water, no fertilizer, and absolutely no care. It sounds impossible for a common weed, doesn't it? But stick with me. I am going to prove every single word of it in the next 10 minutes. Let's go back to the source. The year is 77 AD, Rome. The great naturalist Pliny the Elder is hunched over parchment by candlelight, writing the final lines of his encyclopedia, Naturalis Historia. In this monumental text, he does not describe plantain as a nuisance. He classifies it as the medicine of 24 diseases. The Roman soldiers believed him implicitly. Historical records suggest they didn't just carry it. They lined the inside of their sandals with these leaves. They knew that as they marched to conquer the world, the leaves would crush under their weight, releasing juices that healed blisters and prevented infection. To them, this wasn't foliage, it was armor. The collapse of the Roman Empire didn't kill this knowledge. It just pushed it into the shadows of the Dark Ages, where it became something even more profound. But the more important story happens nearly a millennium later, 10th century England. In the ancient medical manuscript known as the Lacnonga, the Anglo-Saxons recorded a chant called the 9 herbs charm. They revered plantain as the mother of herbs. They sang to it. The lyrics translate to, "And you, waybread, mother of herbs, open to the east, mighty inside. Over you carts creaked, over you queens rode." Their philosophy was simple, brutal, and brilliant. They believed that because this plant could not be killed by the crushing weight of a chariot wheel, it possessed the spirit of resilience. It held the power to withstand trampling. Therefore, it could heal the flesh that had been trampled, slashed, or pierced. This knowledge was so common that by 1597 it was pop culture. In Romeo and Juliet, when Romeo is injured, he doesn't call a doctor. He says, plain and simple, "Your plantain leaf is excellent for that broken shin." Think about that. In the 16th century, a 5-year-old child knew a survival truth that modern medical professors have forgotten, from the mother of herbs to Roman armor, and now down to just a weed. History hasn't changed the plant. The biology is the same. Only our arrogance has changed, and the price we pay for that amnesia is our own health. Now, let's strip away the myth and talk about the science behind the legend. Why does it actually work? The first secret lies in a compound called allantoin. Think of allantoin as a cellular mason, a master builder on a microscopic level. While a plastic band-aid simply covers a wound, sitting there passively, allantoin actively stimulates cell proliferation. It tells your body to build bridges across the gap of a wound. This is why you see allantoin listed as the active ingredient in some of the most expensive cosmetic creams and regenerative serums in the world. But in this plant, it comes free of charge. The second secret is its ability to draw out foreign objects. This is the astringent effect, powered by tannins. Imagine a bee sting, a snake bite, or a deep splinter. It is like an intruder trapped under your skin. When you apply a poultice of this leaf, the tannins cause the surrounding tissue to contract and tighten. This creates physical pressure, a biological vacuum that literally squeezes the poison or the splinter upwards and out of the body. But here is the most critical part for your lungs, especially in the modern world. This plant is packed with mucilage. You cannot see it with the naked eye, but when these leaves meet hot water, they release a gel. The German Commission E has approved the internal use of Ribwort Plantain specifically for respiratory catarrh. When you drink it, that mucilage coats the inflamed mucous membranes of your throat with a soothing, protective layer. It helps dampen the urge to cough and creates a shield that allows the tissue underneath to heal. And do not forget the nutrition. This isn't just medicine, it is a lost superfood. Nutritional analysis shows that Ribwort Plantain contains more vitamin A than spinach and as much calcium as milk, pound for pound. You aren't just treating an illness, you are fueling your body with one of the most nutrient-dense biomasses on the planet. This is the most important part of the video. Do not skip this. In the wild, assumption is dangerous. Certainty is survival. To find Ribwort Plantain, look down. It grows in a rosette pattern. That means the leaves radiate out from a single center point, hugging the ground like a green star. There is no main stalk that branches out. Every single leaf grows directly from the root base. Pick a leaf. It is long and narrow, shaped like the head of a spear. That is why the scientific name is lanceolata. But the key, the absolute code to identifying this plant, is on the back. Flip it over. You will see 5 distinct veins running parallel from the base all the way to the tip. They stick out like heavy cables. If you see veins that branch out like a net or a spider web, drop it. That is not plantain. To be 100% sure, perform the guitar string test. Snap the stem and gently pull the 2 halves apart. You will see tough, white, elastic fibers inside the veins, stretching out but refusing to break, holding the 2 pieces together. It looks like the inner core of a broken cable. This elasticity is the trademark of the plantain family. Now for the flowers. They grow on long, tough, leafless stalks. The flower head looks like a tiny brown bullet or a thimble, surrounded by a halo of white pollen. Children use them to shoot at each other, but you will use them to spot the plant from a distance. Now heed this warning. It is a matter of life and death. When the plant is young and has not yet flowered, its leaves can look terrifyingly similar to foxglove, also known as digitalis. Foxglove is deadly. It can stop your heart. How do you tell them apart? Texture. Ribwort plantain leaves are tough, leathery, and hairless. Foxglove leaves are soft and covered in fine, velvety hairs. Remember this rhyme. If it is hairy, it is scary. If the leaf feels fuzzy like velvet, do not eat it. If it smells chemically or rank, do not eat it. True plantain has almost no smell and feels smooth and cool to the touch. Now, let's get to the payoff. How do you use this forgotten map to save yourself? Method 1 is the spit poultice. This is the survival method. It is fast, it is primal, and it works. If you are stung by a wasp or cut by a rock, pick a clean leaf. Chew it in your mouth for about 30 seconds. Or, if you prefer, smash it between 2 clean stones until it becomes a paste. The enzymes in your saliva, or the crushing action, help break down the cell walls to release the occubin. Take the green mash and plaster it directly over the bite or wound. The pain relief is almost instant. It cools the heat and begins the drawing process. Method 2 is lung tea. This is for the internal issues. Do not boil fresh leaves, as you might destroy some heat-sensitive compounds. Instead, dry the leaves in the shade until they are crinkly. When you need them, steep the dried leaves in hot water, not boiling, for 15 minutes. The water will turn a beautiful amber color. It tastes earthy, like mushroom broth and dry grass. 1 cup in the morning creates that mucilage barrier I told you about. Method 3 is the advanced technique, earth syrup. This is the ultimate preservation technique used by our ancestors. You take a clean jar. You pack in a layer of fresh leaves, then a layer of brown sugar or honey. You pack it tight, layer after layer until the jar is full. Seal the lid tightly. This is crucial to keep the soil out. Then, bury it in the ground for 8 weeks. The constant temperature and darkness of the earth allow the sugar to pull the medicinal juices out of the plant through osmotic pressure. What you dig up 2 months later is a thick black syrup. It is fermented, potent, and shelf-stable. It is the ultimate cough medicine, made by the earth itself. Remember the rule: fresh leaves for external wounds, dried leaves and syrup for internal healing. Nature isn't complicated. We just make it complicated. There is an old saying among European herbalists: plantain grows where the foot falls, to heal the foot that stepped on it. This brings us to the ancient secret of cultivation. This plant is a masochist. It loves abuse. While your roses and your tomatoes demand soft soil and constant pampering, plantain thrives in compacted hard earth. It grows best in driveways, on rocky paths, and in the cracks of concrete. It actually prefers ground that has been trampled. So to grow it, you do not need to till the soil. In fact, it hates loose soil. Just scatter the seeds on your gravel driveway or a hard patch of your yard in the spring. Walk on them to press them into the dirt. And then, ignore them. They will pull moisture from the air and minerals from the rocks. But listen to this warning. It is critical. Because plantain is a biological sponge, it absorbs everything from the environment. That includes heavy metals, lead, and exhaust fumes. If you see this plant growing on the side of a busy highway or in an industrial park, do not pick it. You are not harvesting medicine. You are harvesting poison. The only solution is to grow your own. Dedicate a small, clean corner of your garden, or even a pot on your balcony. And how do you control it? It's simple. Harvest the flower heads to eat before they dry out and release thousands of seeds into the wind. You get a gourmet, mushroom-flavored snack, and you keep your garden under control. We live in a world that tries to sterilize everything. We spray, we pave, and we bleach. But the Ribwort Plantain is a humble reminder of a truth we have lost. It reminds us that the most powerful healing doesn't come from a sterile laboratory. It comes from the dirt. It comes from the cracks in the pavement. It comes from resilience. Now this ancient knowledge belongs to you. You know how to read the veins of the leaf. You possess the recipe for the liquid gold hidden in the soil. You will no longer look at your garden as a battlefield against weeds, but as a living pharmacy waiting to be harvested. But healing wounds and soothing coughs is only the first step of survival. To truly thrive, humans need more. We need intelligence. We need brain power. There is another weed growing right on your front porch. It is a succulent that creeps along the ground. Most people pull it out and throw it in the compost bin. But they don't know that this plant contains more omega-3 fatty acids than salmon. It is richer in melatonin than any sleeping pill. The ancients called it the vegetable for long life. Today, we call it purslane. In the next video, I am going to show you how to turn that unwanted weed into a secret weapon for your brain health. Subscribe to the channel so you do not miss it. I am your host, and this is Ancient Grow Methods.